Chloe, why is Sandy Beach not on your platform?
Well, my feeling about development of natural areas is the same across the board. It is not specific to Sandy Beach. I believe that we need to be very clear as to which natural areas are key for us to protect and how we're going to do this. Of course, when it's on private property, such as Sandy Beach, there will be costs incurred if the town decides that that becomes something that cannot be developed. And in my view, in terms of Sandy Beach specifically, the biggest issue right now is the use and the access to the beach that sits on private property. Once there is that number of people that come in place, even with the new construction that is happening on the right-hand side, it would be reasonably easy, in my view, for them to be able to argue that they don't have the enjoyment of their own property with the influx of people coming in the summer, enjoying the beach, making noise, staying too late. There's actually very tight requirements and engagements on the part of the town of what they will be doing and what they will be providing, and rules of conduct. And if those rules of conduct are broken too often, which is likely to happen, it's my fear that then the servitude of use could be revoked, or at least stalled for a certain amount of time, where suddenly Sandy Beach is no longer accessible to us while it's caught in legalities. So at minimum, that would be one area that if we can negotiate a better relationship and even ownership of that part, I think that's, for me, priority number one with regards to Sandy Beach. Of course, we have to realize that as we've added doors to the downtown core, we haven't necessarily planned for better parks or more parks. And we've also encouraged an influx of people coming from the region and beyond. So it's no longer a place of sort of quiet and a zone of comfort. It is one where there's a lot more activity happening. And that needs to be planned better, where we either add green spaces or we start to, reduce the amount of people who can come at once, or maybe even close it during nesting seasons, so that the ecologic value of that place can be sustained. So there's a lot going on there. I would like to see, if we are to develop the fringe of the Sandy Beach area in exchange for something of greater value, I would like that area to go to a use that is specifically in need in Hudson. I think that we need a lot more affordable housing. I think that we need housing that is that provides services to our older parts of our generation. And how do we get there with the owner? Well, there have been examples in other towns where the town takes an active role in actually either owning a piece of property and developing it themselves. So that's one aspect of it. But also, we need to change our construction practices in those areas where we should not be allowing for basements, we should not be allowing for pumping. There could be less invasive foundation practices in wetland or near wetland areas. And of course, greater protection of our tree canopy and enhancing our tree canopy. And also, I would say, reducing the number of cars in those areas. So there's a lot of tools that we could be applying that, whether it's Sandy Beach or other areas of that nature, we just have to take a proactive stance and make sure that those areas of interest have a better balance between, again, environment and construction or development. And we know now that building or developing costs. It costs us in the long term. And so it's for us now to be clear as to, well, if we're going to develop and it's going to cost us long term, we need to be clear as to what type of development we want and what we're willing to support.
Thank you, Chloe.